Hello and welcome to another edition of Cull the Weak. I'm Brobnar89 back again with Siaka. Hello, Siaka.
Hello.
And we are here for week 5. We've got back to 2 of our first picks. I will be piloting Extrodman, spawn of Acrofile. Siaka will be back on Divelimb, Phony of Mobs. Extrodman is the deck with a bunch of board clears. We've got a different board clear in every house. It's got some of that great Logos efficiency with the double Smokos, with the Torado, a Dark Amber Vault, Lethologica. It's got some big scaling Amber control plays, Effervescent Principle, and Bring Low. It's got a decent amount of capture in Sanctum as well. Siaka, would you like to give us a refresher on Divelimb?
Okay, Divelimb. It is Dis Shadow's Star Alliance. It's a deck with the Matter Maker and 6 upgrades in Star Alliance, which is pretty great for getting a bunch of efficiency on off Star Alliance turns. In the first game of the Cull the Weak, where I played Divelimb, the Matter Maker, I think, didn't show up at all during the game or showed up pretty late, and the deck was just moving a bit more slowly, and I think it couldn't keep up with kind of fast Logos burst that was going on. The second time we used Divelimb, it was actually leading for a lot of the game and doing pretty well. The Matter Maker got played on the first turn, and there was some great efficiency, but there was a big Dark Harbinger turn that allowed Ruin Raven to get back into the game and just inch past Divelimb. So Divelimb is 0-2 in this series, but I think it's a pretty good deck, and so we'll see when Matter Maker turns up in this game. I think it'll be pretty important, and how Divelimb deals with the board clears in Extrodman and potentially Dark Amber Vault. So we have a lot of cards that deal damage or bounce, but there's nothing that hard removes anything in Divelimb except for the Pain Mail, which is still a delayed reaction. So I think maintaining a board presence will be important in order to just generate Amber as quickly as possible before those creatures go away. And if it gets to a nasty situation where you have a lot of Amber captured on a Gorvanol or something, hopefully I'll be able to draw into some bounce or be able to do enough damage to get rid of him, or maybe try to trigger the Bone Saws coming in ready and just get rid of stuff like that. Extrodman, the Amber control is a little light, so I think I'm going to be trying to play a more rush style with Divelimb. I think the first time I used it, I was trying to do a board control thing, and it didn't really work out. And I think, especially in this matchup, I don't think I'll pursue that strategy, but we'll see how the game develops. Going to the other houses, we have a lot of pips in the deck, so 15 pips. And Shadow's got a bunch of actions, the mugs to take off some captured Amber. The Borrow, I think, would be pretty nice. Make it more difficult to use the Dark Amber Vault, or I could turn off the Book of Malefaction.
Yeah, you've got a decent number of your own mutants over there, so I'm kind of cautious to play my Dark Amber Vault.
Yeah, and we'll see if the disc board can just get me a lot of Amber, if I'm able to get it to stick early. And actually, now I'm noticing Reclaim by Nature could be a big issue for the Matter Maker, so I'll have to just use that when I can, and then it could go bye-bye at any time.
Right, although there's also the potential that if I see Dark Amber Vault first, maybe I play that and hang on to my Reclaiming by Nature to pop it when you use Borrow.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if you play multiple games in this matchup, like, it probably plays out differently. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. Cool. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get in that game.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Here we go. I've got the first turn here. Pretty decent first turn hand here. Not amazing, but it could definitely be worse. I think I'm going to keep this. And throw out Sacrificial Gloriana.
Interesting. So maybe you want to do Untamed again, or this is a decoy. But I'm not going to do anything about it. Let's just throw down some of these Star Alliance people.
The star people.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. It was in fact a decoy. I am not going back into Untamed. Not right now, anyway.
Oh boy.
Good chance to get rid of... Well, I know how much you like Trigon. The Z-Particle Tracker could do some good work for you. But the Sensor Chief Garcia is ultimately probably more useful. But not right now. I think I get rid of the tracker. I've got a Cleansing Wave, so I could have gotten an Amber off of that. But I think it's more worthwhile to prevent you from getting those upgrades. Especially if you get an early lead with those upgrades, that could be a problem for me.
Yeah. It's a little tricky. I'll just keep going with Star Alliance, mostly because I got the Matter Maker. So I'm going to get value from that.
Get that work done. Alright, I think Logos is the choice here. That double Amber Pip Lethalogica. And a bunch of little critters coming down.
Alright.
Kind of annoying, it asks me if I want to end my turn because I have the Book of Malefraction out.
Yeah. Another quality of life improvement.
Yeah,
but that one would be pretty tricky to do. It's like, okay, Omni artifacts, but they can't do anything, and like maybe it could do something if you had Valen Analyst and
right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably one that's not gonna happen.
Alright. Do shadows. So lights out, and they would just make your could make your Logos turn worse, or I don't like General Salvador. I don't like the Adventurer either. Yeah, I'll just send them back actually.
Yeah, Salvador's a big boy.
Put out old Bruno. And I think I'll just play the Borrow so I can go to check, even though this artifact is pretty useless.
Yeah.
And you can play the Dark Amber Vault now. Like, I think going to check is pretty important. Like, I need to keep pace and rush.
Yeah, that's probably true. And I don't think really either of us have a whole lot. Well, you've got some stealing, so it could have done some good for me, but I don't think a ton.
Yeah, I have Rad Penny.
Yeah.
So this does have the benefit I can use Rad Penny if I draw it.
Right. Okay. Well, so I think I go Untamed here. I got a lucky pull with the early Reclaimed by Nature, so I'm gonna get rid of that Matter Maker.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did nothing. Just got me one pip.
Which is, I think, even though you're in check right now.
Yeah, that's the issue with decks that really rely on an artifact. What if it gets destroyed? Like, what do you do?
Or it's at the bottom of your deck.
Yeah, or you don't draw it.
Yeah.
I think artifacts are definitely the weakest card type.
Yeah.
Maybe upgrades are worse. So they need to have really good effects. But just based on how often they show up in decks, there's a good chance you won't even draw the artifact you need. Or if it's some strategy where you have to use it, like it takes several turns before you can even use it again, and you need to have a good board state, which can also be disrupted. And I think if your deck has a lot of artifacts that have good passive effects, they work out pretty well. But in general, I find them to be kind of inconsistent. It's mostly extra credit.
Yeah, you kind of often need them to hide each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a bunch of those passive artifacts, they kind of hide each other, so it's hard for your opponent to choose which one to get rid of. So I managed to get the Savage Clash to get rid of your old Bruno. Got my Amber back, putting myself into check. And I liked the Savage Clash with the board that I had, because the 2 Research Smokos put some stuff into my archive here. And the Eternal question, to cave or not to cave?
Yeah.
I think I don't cave, because I have superior board control. I'm not worried about it here, and I put you in check right now. If I put down the cave, I destroyed my
I would forge.
Yeah, and you would forge. So I think that's the right call. And I'm already in check too.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, I'll go Star Alliance. I don't like the Lumilu. I don't like the Flumph either. Guess I just get rid of Flumph. Won't move the blast shielding. Yeah, not super amazing, but at least it was a stop.
I mean, getting rid of the Flumph stops the Lumilu from being very useful, right? Like,
yeah, just reap gain 1. I mean, even that's still pretty good. I doubt you want to do Untamed again unless you got a good draw.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's odd, but I think I actually do want to go Untamed again. So I got some good archiving. I'm going to actually play the Mongrel now, which gets me a draw. Lets the Lumilu get Reap for 2.
Is it every other? Oh, each other. Okay, so it's not just Reap gain 1, so I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Other beast. Yeah. So by itself, it's not very good. And now I'm going to Clash, and you can keep one of your aliens, I guess. Get rid of that Garcia. And the Attendant stays around for another turn. This pretty much useless Cephalist comes out. It's not going to do much with your lack of stealing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad I got the key. 10 amber. 10 amber is rough.
Yeah, you've got your key before me, but I've got 10 amber, and I've got almost all of my Untamed is in the discard or on the board.
Yeah, you're definitely in a better position. Let's see what I can do about it. So I have Turnkey, it's pointless. I don't think I have Recursion either. If I had Stirring Grave or something, I might have discarded it, but
right.
I don't. So I'll Pain Mail the Cephalist. I'm sure that Attendant will be dead at some point. So not maybe famous last words.
It's been there since the first turn, so.
Bonesaw, not ready. Cinder, and then Snudge over here. Okay,
so I get to forge my key. Well, I think I go for Sanctum here. Fangs of Gizelheart gets rid of that Cinder. Xavier comes down, and Gorvanal with a little pip puts me into check.
So actually losing that Cinder prevented my stop, because I've got Brabble.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Nice. Okay, well, just ride with this. This time I'll Pain Mail the Gorvanal. So this is why I put the Turnkey on the end. I think I'm gonna snudge it back.
Okay, yep.
Now I will Cinder and Turnkey, so you're gonna be a little bit harder to get rid of.
Okay, yeah.
Then Break Key, do Brabble, Inspector, so I'm gonna make the board clear a little expensive. Then let's get rid of the Attendant. Okay, and that brings me to key again. Nice.
I forge. I think I go Sanctum here. And, unfortunately, I do not have one of my remaining board clears, which I would like right now. But that's okay. Gorvanal is going to Reap, and then we're going to Smite into here to get the Turnkey.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Find a way around that Cinder. Salvador is gonna take out the Snudge. Get this down, and then Great Rider to fight the Salvador again into... Actually, I guess the Brabble makes sense. I lose the one that I just gained by reaping, but I don't think I could have done anything different with that. Fighting the Imp Spectre with that Gorvanal would have been too risky.
You might lose something you need.
Yeah, I might have lost the Smite, which would have been bad. So I think I just hit the Brabble here to lose it. Like, I'll lose one anyways when it dies, so I think that's fine to do here. And
okay.
Let you forge your second key.
Oh, my pay mail went away too. Dang.
Yeah, because he died by fighting. Yeah.
I think I just need to capitalize on this. And, I don't know. Maybe I'll purchase something good. Nope. You're probably happy I purchased that.
There were a couple of things that I would have been very disappointed if you'd gotten instead. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, let's do this. For Zap.
Yeah, did you... I think all the Logos creatures are dead.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Torado left. That is it.
That's another thing with artifacts. Like, you get bad sequencing. It's like, even though you drew it on the... I guess turn 8 is pretty late. But it's like, oh, but the other cards, you need to interact with it. I think if you can make the game go on for a long time because you have really great control, like Amber control or board control, then the artifact strategy becomes better. And there's sometimes, like, it creates just an oppressive board state if their deck doesn't have a way to get rid of artifacts, which a lot of really good decks don't.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so I gotta do shadows. Unfortunately, you have nothing to steal, but I can vandalize. These aren't very good cards, actually. I guess this represents the biggest...
Not the attendant.
Threat? So there's like an attendant, Song of the Wild, and Eclectic Inquiry.
Yeah.
Oh, the Eclectic Inquiry is enhanced. Okay, let's ditch that.
Yeah, it's got the double pip.
And then I'll put out Rad Penny. I'll mug it so I can get it back. Then I'll put Francis. And that'll be it.
Okay, so I'm going Logos. I've got this very awkward effervescent principle with the capture on it.
Oh, right.
But because I have no creatures in play, I've got the choice of whether I play a creature and capture first or not. And I think that I do, because you have 5. Or if I play Effervescent Principle first, you go down to 3. If I play a creature and then play it, you still lose 2, but then you're down to 2 instead of 3. So
yeah, so if you play it, capture, and then lose 2. And yeah, you don't want to Fission Bloom because then I'll lose 1.
Right. Do not want to Fission Bloom.
Yeah. So this takes me to 2, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I do want to Fission Bloom here and get 2 off the sloppy lab work, so that's not bad.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, get rid of the attendant. That seems like the right choice. And I didn't destroy any creatures this turn, so... shaping up to be a pretty tight game here.
Yeah. So I think we'll go back into shadows. The Bring Low is still around too. So I could also do this and have a bigger turn later, but I'd have to destroy my board. I doubt you want to go in the Logos again, so I'm not that worried about the board. And you have 2 Amber. So let's actually do shadows. Alright, so steal, then I'll just fight to get rid of... Oh, he has boosted power. Oops.
Oh, because the Dark Amber Vault.
Yeah. Oh well. Probably doesn't matter much.
Oh, I see. You stole one, and then
I would have gone to check, but it's like, whatever. Got to pay attention to the board state.
Yeah, the Dark Amber Vault always gets me too. That one's tricky. All right. Well, I think. Yeah, you not being in check definitely changes what I do here. So I'm going Untamed, Reclaimed. I do not want my archive Reclaimed. To purge my own book of Malefaction. Amber on there. Lumilu comes down. And get rid of this Song of the Wild because it's useless. And that's all I got.
Okay. Well, let's hope that I can hit Bring Glow with a Mindfire. Oh, you have a card in your archives. Ooh. Well, gotta take a chance.
Here's to hoping.
Equalize. Okay, that's good.
With a capture icon on it.
Nice. Alright, and then, Gleeful Mayhem. So this wouldn't have even worked.
No.
Because of the Dark Amber Vault.
Right.
Feeling good, but Bring Low's probably coming, so I'll have to see how I can deal with that.
Bring Low is coming, but I've only got a Grey Rider to put it on, so... Alright, sequencing is going to be very important this turn, so let's go Fangs first. I think Spirit's Way gets ditched here. Grey Rider... Bring Low, and then Smite. Which does not even get me to check.
Okay. So that allows me to do my Shadows turn, because I don't have a stop, but I do have a mug. Dark Amber Vault won't save him. Eclectic Inquiry, I thought I discarded that. I guess you redrew it.
I redrew, nice. Yeah.
So, gotta have EP here, or you're cooked.
I don't have EP, I do have Lethological, so... I've got a... Let's see,
Here we go. And losing that Eclectic, that's helpful, because if you Fission Bloom that, that would be really bad.
The Lethological still has the double pips on it also, actually, so...
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah. But let's see if it matters.
But you have to play it first.
I have to play it first before I potentially get the Effervescent Principle. There's a 1 in 5 chance I get this with my
Alright, let's go.
here, so... Drum roll. Oh. Good, I got the Archivist.
No whammies.
Okay, well that's that. Shaped up to be a very, very close game here. I'm like, and now I draw it. Now I draw the Effervescent Principle.
Dang.
But yeah, that was down to the wire. Like we were back and forth at the end for quite a while there. So
yeah, that was a pretty fun game.
Yeah,
and the Dark Amber Vault is really interesting in Logos because if you need to do that Hail Mary for the Effervescent, if you had mutants and stuff, like you could Lethologica, draw cards, and like get it back.
Right.
The Effervescent Principle's really good card in this set. It's the only thing that deletes a lot of Amber.
Right, yeah, it's the only thing that actually gets rid of it.
Yeah, like just straight up gone.
Really in the entire set, right? Like,
yeah, there's like Bravel, it has to trigger on the opponent's turn. There's like the Hapless Cadet in Star Alliance is a destroyed lose 3, but it's a rare.
Right.
And you still need a way to like, kill it.
Yeah.
And lose 3, okay, it wouldn't even help here.
And it doesn't do anything out of hand.
Right. So it's like you either need EP or like Perfectus Ludo and some mass capture. I think that's it. That's
and then a way to destroy your own critter.
Right. And like Senator Brackus is not as good for removing Amber. He's more of a threat, but because you have to wait till your turn to forge, whereas with Ludo you could find a way to like, I guess it's tricky. You can't just use Axiom of Grisk, but you could come up with some creative way to like destroy those creatures that have the captured amber.
Right.
Yeah, so in general, like going to a big number in mass mutation environment is really good. So I'm curious about the like the Premier League mass mutation tournament that they're holding next month. Like what kind of decks we'll see. Like I think Effervescent Principle could be really really good in that environment.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought, because when you're playing only mass mutation, there's no disincentive to burst up. And I found that a lot of like the decks that I was playing early on in mass mutation, when everyone was playing mass mutation, I played a lot of really bursty decks. But then as people started to bring out their coda again, those decks started to feel less good because I'd have to worry about too much to protect being out there. And it was like, oh, yeah, like this is there's now disincentive to burst up to like 10 amber every turn.
Right.
I'm looking back at one of the turns here. The turn when I played Sanctum and cleared up your board. It's turn 7, and I had Effervescent Principle in hand, so I could have stopped you there. So I would have deleted 3 of your amber. Actually, I would have deleted 2 because of the capture. So I would have deleted 2, captured 1, kept you off check. I wouldn't have controlled that board at all. So I was just trying to think through if that was the right call, because I was kind of feeling regretful immediately after that turn. But looking back on it now, I'm thinking like, you know, I cleaned up a lot of that board.
Yeah.
You had a lot of shadows in hand, so I don't know if you would have gone dis again anyways.
Well, yeah, the next turn I went to dis because you didn't have any amber. So 2 of my shadows cards were so worthless. And I thought, okay, well, I just want to ride with dis because, you know, the board could be blown up at any time, and there were 6 creatures at that point, so it's like I'm putting on a ton of pressure. But killing 3 of them was pretty hard. I wonder if there was a way to do the Sanctum turn where the Corvinal didn't die, but I guess the Pain Mail made it so like he was going to go on the following turn.
Yeah, I wanted Corvinal to die because I wanted you to lose the Pain Mail and not get it back in your archive.
I think that just couldn't really be helped. And yeah, lose 3. You ended up taking me off key with the Effervescent later. So I don't think it was that bad. I think it was a turn that was like pretty subtle. Like when it all happened, it's like, okay, I lost 3 creatures and his 2 creatures died. Like that seems pretty good. But then kind of looking at my next turn with Reap 3 and Dis, I mean, draw 0 cards. It's not super great.
All right, well, any other thoughts about the game before we wrap it up here?
I'm glad Divelimb got a win. I think it's a good deck. The Dis board ended up being pretty valuable. I think decks that just have a lot of creatures in one house can have these big turns where like you're reaping for 5 and 6, and it's a huge problem.
Yeah. I wonder if Divelimb ends up being one of those decks where like the flashy bit of it kind of distracts you from how to actually play the deck well. I took away your Matter Maker fairly early, and you did not get the efficiency of being able to play the artifacts out of hand, which was something that we kept harping on in the previous games with Divelimb. And so, but you ended up winning just by sort of like persistently like reaping a bunch, like you said, and sticking through it, and like the Z Force Agent and all the upgrades didn't really do anything.
Yeah, Z Force Agent never hit the table. And I got lucky that I played, I think, 3 upgrades, like near the beginning. And then the blaster and the emitter turned up near the end. So the ordering was pretty convenient for having lost the Matter Maker. But yeah, the Pain Mail Matter Maker combo is really fun. But wasn't meant to be today.
No, but you didn't need it. It turned out fine anyways, so there you go.
Yeah. And it's interesting, despite, you know, all the board clears, like this board was able to reap even once.
Right. I don't think I had any in hand. In fact, yeah, no, the Sanctum turn when I went and like took out your dis, part of why I chose to do that was because I didn't have any board clears in hand.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an argument to holding the board clear?
For a little bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the turn you played it, you actually lost more creatures than I did.
Than you did, yeah. Maybe it's because of my I have a really very, very powerful deck with 3 Savage Clashes that doesn't care about having anything on the board, so maybe I just have the habit of just like play the board clear when you have it. Like when you have 4 board clears, it's like...
Yeah, it's like you'll get into another one at some point.
Right, exactly. I think that was probably my kind of instinct there, so...
Yeah, but I think Hillen, the deck you're talking about, which is like 88 SAS, really powerful deck, has a lot of Amber control.
Yeah.
So the problem with Extrodman is like if there's a big board, could just reap for 3 to 5 and just fall behind really quick. Whereas with Hillen, like let's say you draw the Savage Clash at once, like you still have the Rad Pennies and the other stuff in the deck to bring it down.
That's a good point. Yeah, and Hillen doesn't rely on board to control the Amber. Extrodman needs creatures on the board to capture and stuff. So maybe that's a fundamental flaw in Extrodman, is that it's got these 2 pulls on it in opposite directions. You know, the pull to destroy everything with the board clears, and then the pull to have a board and capture Amber.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Amber control, like it's all capture except for EP.
Right. So maybe the idea is to capture a lot and then blow up the board and Effervescent Principle. But that seems like it's pretty difficult to coordinate it perfectly like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's close it out here. Thanks again for another close and excellent game.
Yeah, these games have been really great. That's super back and forth.
This is our penultimate episode of Cull the Weak, Season 2. Next week, or next 2 weeks from now, will be the final episode of this season, and we will have to decide which decks we are going to be getting rid of.
So Ruin Raven's 2-0 and Greg is 1-1. We'll be playing that one next week.
That should be interesting. I've been Brobnar89. Thank you once again, Siaka.
Thanks. See you later.
We will see you next time on Cull the Weak.